Hello and good morning, folks. This is Wager Detective, May 31st, 2026, the last day of May, reporting live from Harrah's. Let's get into this cap. Before we do, be sure to follow Wager Detective on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And I love all my fans out there. Let's get into this cap. The Red Sox versus the Cleveland Guardians. The Red Sox this year, before we get into that, the Red Sox are 6-4 in their last 10 versus the Guardians, scoring 6.6 runs per game to 4.1. Comes out to 10.7 runs per game average. The Red Sox last 9 at the Guardians, they are 4-5, 7 over, 2 under, 5.22 runs per game to 4.44 for the Guardians. It comes out to 9.66 runs per game average. If we look at the Red Sox this year, overall they're 24-33, 4-6 in their last 10, 5-9 in one-run games, and they're 15-14 on the road. In the road day games this year, they're 6-5, 9 over, 2 under. They're scoring 5.91 runs per game to 4 for their opponent. They've scored 5+ runs 6 times in their 11 road day games this year, and their opponents have scored 5+ 5 times. Now, the Red Sox over their last 9 games, they are 3-6. They're scoring 5 runs a game to 4.77. They've scored 5+ runs in their last 9 games, and their opponents have scored 5+ 4 times. So 3-6 in their last 9, 4-6 in their last 10. Road day games 6-5, but are playing good against the Guardians last 10, winning 6 out of the last 10, and 9 over and 1 under in those 10 games, last 10 versus the Guardians. Now, if we look at road Sunday games this year on the road for the Red Sox, they are 2-2, scoring 4.25 runs a game to 4.25 for their opponents. Comes out to 8.5 runs per game average. And if we look at how they've played against the American League Central this year, they are 10-8, 10 over, 8 under. They've scored 4.72 runs per game to 4.16, coming out to 8.9 runs per game average. They were swept by the Twins. They were swept by the Twins, and then they swept the Royals and the Tigers. So the Red Sox showing that they can play good against the American League Central this year, sweeping the Royals and the Twins, and not bad, right? Now on the mound today, we're going to have Ranger Suarez. The Red Sox are 2-3 in his last 5 outings, 2 over and 3 under. They're scoring 4 runs a game to 2.8 for their opponents in Rangers' last 5 outings. In his last 5 outings, 26 2/3, 18 hits, 18 hits, 6 earned runs, 9 walks, and a home run. Comes out to a 2.03 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP. And not bad. He's going to be on 4 days rest here, where the Red Sox are 2-1 in that split. And on 4 days rest, 17 innings pitched, 10 hits, 5 earned runs, a home run, and 3 walks. He does have a 3 ERA, a 0.76 WHIP, and a 0.53 home run per 9 in his 3 games on 4 days rest this year. Now, against Cleveland in his career, he's won 1 and lost 1. His team has lost 1 and won 1. 7-1 was the win at Cleveland last year, and then another game at Cleveland he lost 5-6. 12 innings pitched, 11 hits, and 4 earned runs in 2 outings versus the Guardians. And if we look at what he's done on the year for Suarez, 3.02 ERA, giving up 4 home runs, 17 walks, and 41 hits. Comes out to a 3.02 ERA, a 1.08 WHIP, and only giving up 0.67 home runs per 9 in 53 2/3. So definitely something to keep in mind. He's pitching better, and listen, at the end of the day, he's only given up 6 earned runs in his last 5 outings on 26 2/3, and 5 of those runs came in his last game. So I expect him to get back on track here. If we're looking at that, if we're keeping that in mind, I expect Suarez to be sharp here after getting touched up for 5 runs in his last game. Now, let's get into the Guardians. The Guardians this year, 34-26, having a pretty good year. 6-4 in their last 10, 19-11 in their last 30. They're 17-13 at home this year, and they're 9-7 in one-run games. In home day games this year, they are 9-4, 6 over, 7 under. They've scored 4.23 runs per game to 2.92 for their opponents. Their opponents in the 13 home day games this year have scored 2 or less runs 8 times out of those 13 home day games, and the Guardians have scored 4+7 times. So It's looking favorable for the Guardians in that aspect, but again, road day games for the Red Sox, in 11 of them, they've scored 5.91 runs per game, but they've given up 4 runs per game in that split, whereas the Guardians in their home day games are scoring 4.23, but they're only giving up 2.92. So it's pretty much spot on. It looks like it could be a dogfight game here. Now, in the Guardians' last 9, it's a big difference. They're 5-4 in their last 9, 3 over, 6 under. In this split, they're only scoring 2.22 runs per game, but they're giving up 3.88 runs per game over their last 9, being outscored 35 runs to 20 over their last 9 games. So a major difference between what they've done in home day games this year and what they're doing in their last 9. Like we said, in their 13 home day games, they're scoring 4.23 runs per game, and in their last 9, last 9 overall, they're scoring 2.22. So something to keep in mind there. Now, versus the American League East, they are 6-6 this year, 5 over and 7 under in those games. They've scored 3.58 runs per game to 3.75 for their American League East counterparts. Comes out to 7.33 runs per game. And like we said, with the Red Sox versus Central, they're scoring 4.72, whereas the Guardians are scoring 3.58 versus the East. So when these teams play against the opposing divisions, the East versus Central and Central versus the East, the Red Sox scoring 4.72, and the Guardians only scoring 3.58 versus the East. They had problems with Toronto and Tampa Bay. They did take 3 of 4 from Baltimore earlier this year, but I think the Red Sox are better than Toronto and Baltimore. Tampa Bay, maybe not so much. So something to keep in mind there. And in home Sunday games this year, the Guardians are 3-1, scoring 7 runs a game to 4.25 for a 28-17 run differential. So they're playing good on Sunday, whereas the Red Sox are 2-2 on Sunday games. But the Red Sox on Sunday games are scoring 4.25. On Sunday home games for the Guardians, they're scoring 7 runs a game. So going forward, I'll put in who the opponents were to kind of really clarify that, but Guardians playing better there. So if we look at this so far, the pros for the Red Sox, they're 6-4 in their last 10 versus the Guardians. They are, even though they're 3-6 in their last 9, they're scoring 5 runs per game, but they're giving up 4.77. What's another pro for them in this one? They're 10-8 versus the Central. They're scoring 4.72 runs per game in those games. So that's another good part for them. The Guardians, again, home day games are playing pretty good, like we said, 9-4. And if we look at what they're doing in their last 9, not necessarily so good. Even though they're 5-4, they're only scoring 2.22 runs per game average in those games. So if we look at them and we look at who's going to be on the mound, Tanner Bybee is going to be on the mound, where the Guardians are 1-4 in his last 5 starts, 3 over, 2 under. In his last 5 starts, Bybee 27 2/3 innings, giving up 25 hits, 16 earned runs, 7 walks, and 7 home runs. That comes out to a 5.22 ERA, a 1.16 whip, and he's given up 1.77 home runs per 9 over his last 5 outings. Not pitching really good. And when we look at what Cleveland has done when Bybee has started this year, the Guardians are only 2-10. So that's something to keep in mind there. Guardians are 1-4 in his last 5, and the Guardians are 2-10 this year when he starts. And his last 5, like we said, a 5.22 ERA, 1.16 whip, and 1.77 home runs per 9. And if you look at over his whole year average, he's given up 1.7 home runs per 9, 1.31 whip, and he's given up 12 home runs. So in 63 innings pitched, not looking good. But here's the bright spot for them, if you want to call it. I wouldn't even call it a bright spot. Forget I said bright spot. It's actually even worse. On 5 days rest this year, the Guardians are 0-5 in his starts. 25 innings pitched, 32 hits, 17 earned runs, 9 walks, and 2 home runs. Comes out to a 6.12 ERA, a 1.64 whip, and 0.72 home runs per 9. Guys, if we're going to make this call right here, right now, I'm going to call the Red Sox to win this game. They are minus 102. The over-under is 7.5. I think just the way that Bybee's playing, last 5 all year and on 5 days rest, going against Suarez, they got touched up for 5 runs in his last outing and has only given up 6 runs total in his last 5, is a clear indication that yesterday's game is probably going to be another duplicate of that. So the only bright spot here, like I said, for the Guardians is they are 9-4 in home day games this year, which is pretty good. But they're only 6-6 in middling versus the East. They're not hitting the ball over their last 9, only scoring 2.22 runs per game. So Wager Detective calling the Boston Red Sox -102 and the game to go over 7.5. This is Wager Detective. Thank you for tuning in. Sorry for this report going up late. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And more than anything else, guys, Wager Detective loves all his fans. I'll talk to you soon.